Hello and good evening. It's your boy, the Real Shaw 256, bringing you another episode of Evening Crypto. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. And tonight, I want to start off with a bit of a rant. I'll try to keep it short in respect of your time and mine. But I do want to I do want to mention this because I've been seeing this again, relentlessly in the different media channels, different social media channels like crypto, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Um, People are calling their crypto comrades to sell now and buy later. So sell your Bitcoin now or whatever you're holding now and buy in later. Um, if you've been paying attention to the charts, and whether you're a hodler, whether you're a trader, or starting to trade, selling at the bottom of a dip after a dip has run its course is the absolute best way to get wrecked, or the stupidest thing you could do, in my opinion. Uh, but very efficient at losing money and getting wrecked. So if you're listening to that, if you're seeing that on the different media channels, definitely turn a blind eye to that and run the other way. It is just the stupidest thing, stupidest piece of advice I could ever hear. So hopefully you're not paying attention to that. They're basically telling you to buy, to sell at the dip after Bitcoin has gone on a dip. I'll go back to this here in a little bit, but yeah, basically they're telling you to sell right down here after Bitcoin has run all the way from the top of the resistance to the bottom of the support. I mean, that's what people are calling. This is how stupid this is. Okay, hopefully you're getting it. Hopefully it's making sense in your head. Like, and I hope also that you're not being subjected to this sort of nonsense. I don't know why I am, but I see it all over crypto Twitter, all over my social media, every on every channel. Gosh, I mean, who are these people? Certainly, they're not followers of this channel. So, and also the whale manipulation narrative promoters. These people constantly, anytime they see a dip, I see a natural correction, natural price action. But some people seem to think that this is the whales doing their work, getting you to buy on FOMO when the price is way up here and up here, and then having you sell when it's down here and down here. So to all those people who are on board with the whole whale manipulative um, narrative, do you really expect the price of Bitcoin to keep going and going up and up and up exponentially for till the end of time, forever and ever? Is that really your expectation? Because this is how, I mean, this is the dumbest mindset I've ever heard in trading and crypto markets, or any market really, and it's one of the biggest reasons why people get wrecked. Unfortunately, a big part of the crypto community is about just making money, and some of them, a lot of them, don't really care as much about the technology and the proposition that crypto is bringing to the table. They're out to make a quick buck, get rich, and then bounce. So, I mean, that's cool and all, but at least, you know, do some research on what you're getting into. Listen, like I was telling you in the other video, listen to the OGs. Don't listen to the guy on Facebook, on Twitter, on your, whatever crypto group you're enlisted in, or Twitter or whatever. You get the point. So you don't end up like these guys and these newbies, get that are certainly losing a lot of money. They come in with sometimes their life savings, sometimes they sell a car or a big piece of whatever to get into these markets, thinking that we're gonna make all this money by trading it. They've never traded in their whole life. So to you who maybe is new to the market, has never traded, I came up with 5 suggestions. I'm not calling it financial advice because it's not, but I have 5 suggestions that I want to throw at you. So number 1 is stop listening to the whale manipulation theorists. Those guys will get you wrecked real quick. Number 2, stop panic selling at the end of a dip. So if you're one of those guys that sold down here, or down here, and then you saw the price bounce way up, you're probably kicking yourself in the ass, right? So stop listening to those people who tell you sell now, buy later. That's just BS. Stop believing that Bitcoin can and should only go up. You know, corrections are going to be part of this market forever and ever. Nothing's going to always go up. It's impossible, especially in a market where there's a lot of savvy traders, a lot of software traders, a lot of bots and algorithmic trading. It's going to be a really tough battle, right? If you don't understand what the charts are telling you, if you don't understand the basics of support and resistance, what the EMAs do, what the RSI does, I mean, a few other things. So, you know, the sooner you stop believing that something should always go up, you know, the better you're going to be, the faster that's going to turn around for you. So instead of selling the dips, you sell the resistance, and instead of buying the resistance, you sell the resistance, and that's going to do a world of difference in your trading game. I promise you, if you just do that, it's going to do a world of difference. I'm not even kidding you. Okay, number 4, if you don't have the time or desire to research what you're doing, then, you know, the best thing you could possibly do is huddle and leave it alone. Don't look at it for 5 years. You know, come up with a game plan, whether it's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, however long you want to hold it. Just buy it and hold it. Don't look at it. Because you're going to FOMO or you're going to panic sell. So buy it and leave it alone. And lastly, number 5, if 4 is true and you don't have the time or desire to research it, but you do want to buy and huddle, then also dollar cost average. It's proven to be a solid strategy. It's proven that if you were dollar cost averaging through the bear market, you are now, you know, at this point in the positive. You should be seeing green numbers on your P&L. So I mean, and it doesn't matter. It could be $25 every paycheck. It could be, you know, $1,000 every paycheck. It just depends on what your income is. But, you know, as always, do it carefully. Don't spend more than you can lose. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose. Right? So I'll leave it at that. Again, I don't want to rant off for too long, but these are things that I still see, and you know, it's bothersome. And a lot of newbies, a lot of people coming into the crypto space are just going to get wrecked that way. I know when I first started in these markets, I mean, I took a beating, right? Just thinking that alts were the way to go because Bitcoin was I mean, had run its course. It had no more gains left. You know, I fed into that whole narrative, and boy, did that turn out to be bullshit. But hopefully you learn off of my bad experiences. Hopefully. All right, so let's take a look at the current state of the market. Let's refresh this. We're currently at 290 billion. I do want to look at the actual chart here on market cap because this is going to tell us the story of what's been going on. I mean, we went from $380 billion market cap not that long ago, and now we've significantly corrected from that. Let's see, here we go. So tough to get it right at the top. All right, so 381 billion, and you know, currently we're at 290 billion. Trading volume has stayed significantly up there. We haven't lost a whole lot. Now this number keeps ticking up, guys. Something I've been preaching about is how Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to go up. Some of my colleagues are calling for an 80% Bitcoin dominance. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far, but maybe 75 area would probably be a turning point in the cryptosphere, where, maybe at that point, a lot of cryptocurrency, small projects or shit coins are going to get squeezed out of the market indefinitely. And you'll see, because you also see the price of Bitcoin has been jumping back, or has been bouncing, if you will. But you take a look at these two numbers here. The market cap is still, almost 100 billion below what at the high of what this year 2019 has brought. So going from 281 or 381 to 290, that's almost 100 billion. Price is bouncing. This stat here has kind of sat at around between, let's call it 60 and 80 billion in 24-hour volume. So there seems to be, and this stat here keeps going up as well. So there seems to be some consolidation into Bitcoin, which would explain why the bounce. So no more new money is coming in. No more new money being pumped into the market cap, the overall market cap. But the price is bouncing, and Bitcoin dominance is going up. So again, a lot of money that was being played into all these altcoins is now, consolidating into Bitcoin. All right, so keep that in mind for future. So currently, as I was saying, this is a typical formation. I'm gonna bring up my drawings here so we can talk about this. Let's bring down the RSI there. Okay, so we're kind of flagging out here, and we're kind of forming a triangle here, right? And so as you can already tell, these movements, these dips, are definitely something that is very natural to an asset that is as volatile as Bitcoin, which there isn't any. It's just Bitcoin is the king at volatility. So these moves are not whale manipulation. These moves are resistance here, huge resistance, I might add. And the bots and algos are programmed to pick up on this stuff and actually start to sell off. And so we have this triangle formation with the resistance, on the descending trend here, and then we have the pitchfork here, kind of letting us know where we're at in the scheme of things. Which still, again, I remain bullish. We did break the 200 EMA. Actually, I want to bring it up to the 4-hour because this one tells the story a little bit better. Are we on the 4-hour? Yep, we are. So. And I tweeted about this earlier. I sent out a tweet that, hey guys, we actually regained the 200 EMA on the 4-hour. We regained it, and if we start closing some 4-hour candles above the 200, that could be a good thing, and things could get interesting. And ever since we overtook the 200, we've gone up from, we were here somewhere around here this morning at 10,300, and we're now about $500 above that, right? So from here, I'd like to see a few 4-hour candles close above the 21. We haven't done that yet. We've actually reached up above it with these wicks here, but we haven't actually closed anything there up on top of the 21. So I am looking, if we want to keep going on this run, I really would like to see a closure of the 4-hour above the 21. If not, as long as we remain above the 200, I remain hopeful that we are going to keep going up. But there's plenty of resistance on the way up. There's the 21 EMA, and we have the middle of this channel converging with the simple 100 here, the orange line here, and then we have let's see, that's our 55 here, and our simple 200 as well. So we've got plenty of resistance to break through on the way up. Honestly, my take is, again, if we can close above a couple 4-hour candles above the 21, then this is kind of where I'm looking at for ultimately our target. Staying within this formation here, right? Staying within this formation. This will be, I'm going to change the color to reflect resistance. This will be our resistance point, and we should be getting somewhere around here. Now, I don't think we're going to close any solid, like maybe like a 4-hour, a 6-hour, 8-hour candle above the 12,450. I think we might wick up there and definitely reject from that area. So my target is going to be around, right around in here. So around the 100 to 150 is where I'm going to start to de-risk my position on Bitcoin. I'm going to start taking off some of my Bitcoin and trading back into USDT or whatever stablecoin you want to trade into. Not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. Right. This is where I'll be de-risking because again we're going to be running into plenty of resistance here on this descending resistance trend, and then possibly come back and retest some of these lower areas again within the pitchfork channel until eventually this formation here we have this red resistance trend line and we have the green support trend line down below. These formations typically will get close to about 75% full, and then usually we see a move either way, up or down. So it's probably going to spend, this is July 22nd, another week. So right around July 26th or 27th is where I'm thinking this formation is going to no longer valid. We're going to make a move either way, up or down. Again, if we don't lose this formation sooner than that, then this should be true. So pay attention. I'm constantly reevaluating. Trading technical analysis is about that. You have to constantly pivot. You have to constantly reevaluate where we are currently, and so that's what I'll be doing. It's a daily thing. So again, if you don't have the time, if you don't have the will to trade this when you can, be in front of a computer and actually watch your trades, I don't recommend stop losses again in crypto land because it's just we get a lot of hunts both ways, right? And it's just not a very reliable way to manage your positions in crypto. Maybe in a few years it will. Once volatility decreases, the stop losses might be something that I would recommend. But as of right now, with the volatility we have here, I don't recommend stop losses. Do what you will. I mean, that's just I'm just sharing what I'm doing. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, so you have to constantly reevaluate where you are in the scheme of things. The charts will constantly feed you information, and you have to be able to read it and react to it. Try to stay proactive. So hopefully, that gives you, some useful tips. And it's just proven to, in my opinion, and in my experience, it just has proven to yield better results as opposed to being passive and not really paying attention and using stop losses. It just hasn't worked out for me. So maybe you have a better strategy. You can leave it down in the comments, share it with the community. Let us know what you're doing, and more. Maybe someone can learn from your strategies as well as myself. I definitely want to foster that kind of mentality here, where people can share ideas, people can talk about how they're managing their positions, how they're evaluating things, strategies, tricks, tips, all of it. So leave it down in the comments. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right. So in the meantime, I do think again this bounce is going to grind its way up again into this resistance here at 12,150. You might think it's a little too soon to maybe think of 12,150. I personally I feel like I'm going out on a bit of a limb here and saying that, hey, this could be, but based on this behavior that we've seen as of late, and you know, it's obviously flagging out in this triangle here. So if history is giving us any sort of hint, then this would be the behavior, the expected behavior. So again, I would start de-risking around here, 12,150, and then 12,4. You know, I do think right around, you know, the 20th, we should start to see something more concrete in the charts. Again, if we take another dip and break this formation and come back and retest the 377 down here, I do expect a bounce. It also lines up with the 382. I do expect a bounce. We could possibly come back and regain this formation here, although that would be very, very weird if it did that. But I mean, everything is possible in the cryptosphere. I don't think that is very likely to happen, in my opinion. But you know, again, we've seen crazier things. So again, I do expect to bounce out the 377 and the 3.382. If we regain this, then you know the plan remains intact. We're going to come back and retest probably a lower level around 12,150, still a valid range, and then from there we're going to be very close to finishing this formation here and breaking out either way, right? Going back to that, if the triangle breaks, we'll bounce out of this area, I believe, and then from here, if that area breaks, then it's a free for all. It's a free fall here. We should have some support right around this area here. Actually, let's kind of draw it here. So you should have an area of support right below the 382. If that breaks, then I'm definitely looking for 8,500. 8,500 area, right in between the 382 and the 236 golden pocket area, and you know, a bounce from there. Okay, so that's what I have. That's what I have for Bitcoin. As always, you know, just stay vigilant, and these moves do come at random times. There's not really a time to be trading this morning, day, afternoon, evening. You're lucky if you catch a run while you're watching the computer. So also the RSI on the 4-hour is looking pretty bullish. We did get out of the bearish zone. We did tick above the 21 EMA on the RSI here, and we're looking pretty bullish. I do see continuation of this run here. So if you bought the dip, I don't think it's time to sell yet. So usually, you know, once we regain the 21, we usually have pretty good runs to the upside, and we usually tend to get into the more bullish control zone. So I'll be looking out for that. I do think that's definitely in the cards as of right now, unless something drastically changes. The 1 day is also looking. Actually, no. It did have a rejection out to 21, and it's now down into the lower of the neutral zone, and it looks like it wants to actually continue to the downside on the daily. So going back to the 4-hour, I do think we're gonna have to close some 4-hour candles on top of this 21 for the daily. For the daily RSI to start maybe thinking about making a move to the upside and cross over the red RSI indicator, have a crossover, and then if we overtake the 21, then you know that move to in between 12,150 and 12,4 becomes definitely more of a viable move. All right, so. But again, you know, you have to stay vigilant because these things change at any moment without notice. We did get a close of the daily. Our daily closed at 10,838. So again, that's a pretty bullish closure, or pretty bullish candle there, closing at 10,800. And hopefully, I mean, it's too early on, but hopefully we'll get continuation of this. I mean, we might have a little bit of a correction here coming back down to this green area of the pitchfork, and then bounce back up and continue to run towards the top of the triangle here. All right. I don't want to spend too much time with the altcoins today because if you look at one, if you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. XRP looking very bearish. In the neutral control zone, not really looking like it's trying to get out of there. In fact, it looks like it might want to come back down a little bit more. Bitcoin looking very similar. Just got up above the 30 simple, but it looks like it's being rejected actually. Looking very bearish again. Looking like it wants to break through the 21 exponential here, but with some indecision. And when you see that, when you see indecision in a coin, I do tend to give the bears the edge there. Let's see. Link has been doing something a little bit different, holding on to the 200 EMA here, and actually holding up better than Bitcoin on the 4 hour. It has not lost the 200. If it loses the 200, then I'm getting very bearish on Link. Come back and retest the 377 at around $2.11. Definitely don't want to see that because, as I told you guys, I entered into a position. But if we do break this area, I do think I might cut my losses here. Hopefully that won't happen. But I mean, Chainlink has definitely shown a lot of strength, a lot of resilience. So I do have faith that this and don't trade my opinion, but I do have I'm hoping that this will actually hold here above the price action will hold above the 200 EMA. As we go back, it has, like Bitcoin, just bounced off it ever since it overtook it back in May 3rd. It hasn't looked back. I mean, it has dipped right below it, like we do see here in this area. It did dip a bit below it, but then regained it and hasn't lost it ever since. So if we do lose it, it's going to be a very, very bearish indication for me. And again, I will be exiting my position on the 4 hour. The RSI does look a bit bearish. Still at the bottom of the neutral area of the RSI, but it does look like it wants to take down into the more bearish territory. So definitely look out for that. I will definitely be keeping my eye on it. Litecoin still very bearish, above or below every major and simple moving average. RSI ticking down again. Looks like it wants to looks like it wants more downward movement. And then we have Ethereum. Yeah, looking very bearish. I mean, it just broke through every line of support here, kind of trading on a no man's land in here. RSI did tick above the 21, so I mean, we could have a pretty good bounce. We need to start closing some 4 hours above the 30 before we can, talk about a decent bounce and regain the 377, which will now act as resistance on the way up. Let's see. Let's go down to the bottom of the list. We have Cardano, close to setting. No, not really. But not looking good. I mean, it's just looking very, very droopy and just very tired, and looks like it wants more down. Let's see what happens here at the. It's trying to break through the 21 exponential here on the RSI. If it does break through it, and we close some 4 hours above the 30 again, same as Ether, then we start to start. I mean, just I wouldn't get bullish on it yet. Just start to maybe question whether it could have some continuation. HOTS, same thing. Is it actually close to 4 hour above the 30? Yeah, it actually closed to 4 hour above the 30. Closed and opened. This is what you want to see on these other altcoins, and testing the 21 on the RSI. If it does break above it, then we could have continuation to the upside as well. Let's look at VET. same kind of thing. This one is trading below the 30 simple here. Yep, trading below the 30 simple here. Again, same story. Trying to get there, but looks like indecision to me. Not too convinced that it's actually going to get past the 30 simple there and close any 4-hour candles above it. EOS, same story. Like I said, guys, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. This one actually did close a few 4-hour candles above the 30, and it did get past the 21 here on the RSI, although it does look like it wants to cross over to the downside and come back and find deeper territories or retest this low here at 4.08. Does look like it wants to do that. Retest the 4.08. All right. So if you're an EOS, just keep an eye out. Okay. So that is all I have for the technical analysis part of thing. I do want to give a shout out to Caitlin Long, but let me actually go into this story here before we do that. Congressional leaders drafted a bill that would prevent big tech companies from launching a native digital asset. So they're taking what Libra Coin and Facebook are trying to do and stifle the progress of such projects or projects that are trying to do the same thing as Facebook. Any big financial or technology company that earns $25 billion per year in revenues, then they want to make sure that these companies do not form a sort of a banking services coalition or branch off of their main company to become sort of a banking service provider. And this draft is going around Congress as we speak. It is trying to get popularity, gain approval from the constituents in Congress, and turn this and have this bill pass and get this act into enforcement. This coming after lawmakers trying to halt the Libra Coin project from actually moving forward and deploying its native currency in 2020. Maxine Waters seems to be the head of this project, although it's not official. It is said that she has been spearheading this proposition, and they want to make sure that Libra Coin does not go any further without first examining what they aim to do. They are claiming that they want to make sure that Facebook will protect user data and that they will not sell this data without approval, as they have done so in the past, and which is why Facebook got slapped with a big fine in the past. So this is something that has been going on recently. Over the weekend, we caught a wind of this news, and so the bill is actually already circulating in Congress. If you want to look at the actual bill here, what it proposes, in my opinion, it also would prevent, say, companies like Amazon from creating their own cryptocurrency and having their customers adopt such a token to make purchases within their platform. So this is what they're trying to stop. Anybody who, like Facebook, like Amazon, Facebook has already done it, right? So they might be able to get away with it. Also, they've actually established the Libra Foundation outside of the United States and Switzerland. So that might be a loophole to be able to actually still develop and release the Libra coin. In future cases, like as I was saying, Amazon might be somebody who's interested in doing this sort of following in Facebook's footsteps, and so this law would prevent anybody, within that criteria to launch their own crypto. And they're also proposing $1 million fines for every day that a said company is in violation of the proposed bill. So definitely lawmakers are kind of jumping the gun here and they just want to stifle anything that is crypto related at the moment because they don't understand it. I think they're fearful. In fact, we saw a story earlier about a congressman or a representative of the government saying that they are keeping a close eye on cryptocurrencies. And, again, with the same narrative that Mr. President came out and tweeted about over the weekend, saying that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are used for illicit activities and by criminals. Same kind of narrative. They are showing signs that they are, number one, afraid, and number two, they don't understand the technology. Number three, they're pointing to cryptocurrency users as people that commit all sorts of fraudulent activity, commit all sorts of crime, drug trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, these horrible things, neglecting the fact that the dollar is the most common method of exchange used in all of these illicit activities. So, as I was saying earlier, I do want to shout out Caitlin Long, because she was actually requested by the Senate Banking Committee to give or she was asked to gosh, why am I running out of words here? She was asked to contribute to the investigation, give her thoughts on what's going on, her take on LibreCoin, and they just want to learn from her and see what her stance is. And of course, Caitlin Long being one of the most important, in my opinion, characters in the blockchain space and cryptocurrency overall, having such a positive outlook and such a welcoming regulatory stance on Bitcoin and blockchain in the state of Wyoming, allowing for new laws that welcome cryptocurrency companies into Wyoming, such as IOHK, Charles Hodgkinson and company have already established a presence in Wyoming. So she did actually submit her reply and, gave them a piece of her mind. And basically, I sum it up here in this tweet. The TLDR is Congress. She's calling for Congress to shape up quick and stop overreacting to something that can be a hugely positive impact on Americans and the world as a whole. They're too quick to pull the trigger to overregulate without first understanding what's at hand. So bravo, Caitlin, again, for coming up big and influencing Congress and the Senate committee staff to actually, take a step back and try to understand before actually trying to regulate something blindly. So yay for her. If you're not following her, I definitely suggest you do. She's a great read. She tweets often. Very smart lady. I am a big fan myself. I highly recommend her Twitter handle. Where is it? Right here. Caitlin Long. All right, guys. I am running out of material and words to say, so I'm just going to cut it here. Hopefully you got something out of this video in exchange for your time. I do appreciate you joining. If you're not following, there's my Twitter handle, TheRealShot256. As I said earlier, I did tweet out this tweet about the Bitcoin looking like it's going to regain the 200. It could have been a good entry point for you guys to get long on that. So if you're not getting these notifications, definitely follow me at TheRealShot256 on Twitter and Instagram. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.